It's Once Upon a Time. This is Season 5, Episode 4. The title is The Broken Kingdom. Let's do it. Camelot many years ago looks like every other village many years ago. There's a tree. So we're taking on faith that a child had a dream that there's a dude in the tree. For a poor peasant kid, he's got a great haircut. Mom's like, how many accents live in that village? They do all sound different. You didn't pull it out of the sheath all the way. Overcompensating. Just the tip. Mom's like, I only got half a sword, babe. Do you still love me? That'd be so awkward to tell your bro you're missing half your sword. Right? How'd they get a castle? It was like a village of 3 huts. A bunch of dream catchers. Don't remember Nil. He was stupid. Don't be shooting magic, Emma. There are worse things to have inside your head. Rumpelstiltskin's probably the coolest thing.
She hasn't said a word.
Well, at least she can't complain.
We can't trust Arthur. What are you talking about? Who told you that? Lancelot.
He ain't gonna believe you. That's his bro you're talking about.
Anything could set her off. She needs rest.
Aw, she cares about her bro.
Come on, love. Let's sail away.
Let's sail away. Let's sail away.
Because he went after Arthur's wife, and he's back. Why? What?
You went after people's wives? He cheated on yours? The fighting in front of Regina is awkward.
So that's what this is about. You haven't met a king in a while and you're starstruck.
That's not
Burn.
You need to feel like a hero again.
Burn. He's a crazy person. Arthur's a crazy person.
A wife needs you.
Come dance with me. Oh, that's a party. That's better than the fancy balls. Oh, he gonna steal your wife. But to be fair, he's so much more attractive than Arthur.
From King Arthur to his queen, Guinevere.
What, flower petals? Great birthday party. Thanks for the presents.
I know he didn't plan any of this.
Lancelot did it because he loves you.
By this time tomorrow, I will hold it in my hand.
She don't care.
I did my best to stay here and protect the queen.
Oh, he'll protect her all right.
Lying to you about why we're here. That stops right now.
David, shut up.
It's not easy for me to be here, people.
David, you're such a little whipped boy. Please like me, Arthur. I have stories to tell you.
We're gonna restore Excalibur.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Of course, I will help you defeat the darkness inside her.
Oh my god.
My wife thought this was a bad idea.
Yeah, because she's smart sometimes.
Something a bit more serious. Lancelot.
Oh my gosh, David, quit telling him everything. Oh my god, I hate you. So dumb. Exclamation points. Mom's like, your wife is smarter than you. Rumpelstiltskin gets that gauntlet later. It must be very easy to find that vault. You knew where it was. Not very secretive. Oh, you shouldn't have let the oil out. Mom's like, X-Files! It does look like the X-Files black oil. Or that stuff from Fern Gully. Remember that? Oh shoot, it looks like Venom showing up. Lancelot, no! Everyone just stabs into that swirling darkness. And again, what if it went straight through? You would have just hit him with fire. Infinite evil can just be fought with fire. Oh, she kissing him. Get it. But it should, he's pretty. Mom's like, it's her hot Latina blood.
I wouldn't want my wife to know that he's here.
She already has.
Oh, awkward.
So I can make him pay for what he did.
What'd he do?
I heard you both had some culpability in that.
Burn.
I brought it with me.
I hate you, David. You are a complete idiot. Mom's like, stupid, right? Ha, you got played. It ain't in there. You're stupid. Thank goodness Snow White is actually kind of smart this season. So what if we actually can't trust Lancelot, and I just feel like a fool? Either way, they're both going behind their spouses' backs, which is dumb. It's gonna be awkward. They're gonna kiss in front of Emma and Hook, aren't they?
You'd be interested in taking me riding.
Hey-oh.
I'll introduce you to Nicodemus.
That your dad?
No, it's my horse.
I don't want to ride your dad.
Hope you're ready to get your heart racing.
Look, he's right behind you, Hook.
That girl promised to get Henry's heart racing astride a horse. You and I are gonna do the same.
There are other ways to get your heart racing, if you know what I mean. Mom's like, is that a euphemism, Hook? Where the heck did you guys just go? Ha! That's right, you got zapped.
If it means getting your husband back. Assuming, of course, that's still what you want.
Oh, called you out. Rumpelstiltskin's just full of, like, wisdom and stuff. I was wondering the circumstances around Rumple getting that gauntlet.
The vault of the Dark One.
Everyone just knows what this freaking vault is. It's like a sewer cover in the middle of the forest.
I've been here before.
When?
Had a vision.
Oh, in your vision quest!
Should be me.
Can we trust you, Lancelot?
Don't you trust me?
I don't trust you now, because when you ask questions like that, no, you're not trustworthy. What the heck? I knew Arthur was bad, but dang!
Where is it then?
Give me the dagger!
Oh my gosh, calm down, Arthur.
It's not here! Why are you hiding the dagger from me?
Dude, calm down!
Then I'll follow my heart.
Go right to the pretty man.
But my heart tells me I have to finish my quest.
He's gonna throw that sand on you. Oh! Phew! You're a horrible person.
Have not been supportive enough.
Brainwashed! Oh my gosh, Arthur, you are the freaking worst. She should have threw the sand on him first. How did you know that doing that would fix a whole kingdom? It might just repair like a brick or two on your castle. Dude, I want that. I want that dust, because I want to live in Camelot. Or at least just a slightly better apartment. Mom's like, magic sand is on TV. I've seen infomercials for it. Snow, you're a freaking idiot. Why don't they just stab him while he's sitting there monologuing?
She's not coming.
Why? What have you done to the dagger?
It's not real.
The dagger's not real.
Knew it.
You knew he would follow us.
She wasn't the only one.
Oh, they were working together.
The darkness isn't my daughter. So every choice I make is for the good of my family.
Aww. Okay, you're not that stupid.
So we put aside our differences and thought of Emma's well-being first.
I actually like the Charmings this episode.
Go on. Introduce yourself.
Just take its heart. It'll trust you. That horse don't like you. You're the dark one.
Stop talking to the demon you had. Get on the horse.
Heh, I like his logic. Don't put your faith in someone else. Mom's like, Hook is so hot.
Camelot's true leader is its queen, Guinevere.
But she's all duped right now. Oh, shoot. You surrounded. Mom's like, she's been hexed. She's horrible. Throw some more different sand on her to fix her for real. She's gonna hurt him, isn't she? Oh, I hate you both. Well, I hate the cursed version of her, but I hate Arthur.
Who said we're locking you up?
They're gonna kill you. Mom's like, he's a pervert to, like, fake love. It's true. Don't throw the sand on them! Why did they stand still and let that happen?
That's the cell the rats take a fancy to.
Merida? Merida! Yay!
Turns out David was right. We can trust Arthur.
No!
Our best move now is to give Arthur the real dagger.
No!
Making Excalibur whole is our best chance to help Emma.
No, it's not! Stop it! Don't trust them! Emma's all in white, and then it's gonna get crazy. He just pulled that flower out of some weeds and it had a perfectly cut bottom to it. Mom's like, roses are growing out of the ground? They gon' kiss! What the heck is this weird land where roses grow out of the ground? Now we're back to present. Alright, let's do this. I don't like him when he's scared. Dude, that weird tunnel looks like the Slenderman place. I don't like it. Merida! You had her tied up this whole time and just now took her heart? Train him. Training montage.
I need you to make him brave.
Brave! Alright, if I can figure out how to get it to work, there might be an ad here before the recap. If I can't figure out how to get it to work, the recap's starting right now, so let's go. So the episode starts, it's a flashback to Arthur and Guinevere when they're kids. Camelot's pretty much like 4 huts at that point. Arthur's like, I had a dream, and Merlin is a dude that is in the tree. He said, I'm gonna pull a sword from a stone and restore Camelot. It's gonna be awesome, and you're gonna be my queen. He's like, and every year on your birthday, I'm gonna put flowers everywhere for you. And she's like, aww. Then they walk around the tree, and there's some rocks piled up, and there's like a little sword sticking in it, and Guinevere is like, is that it? He's like, no, it's not. We should get out of here. Just then, like, some bigger, mean kids roll up, and they're like, hey, you're stupid. That's not real. No one's ever gonna, like, make you be king. You're just some poor kid, and you're a chump, and we don't like you. Then it goes forward to when he's older, and it's him and Lancelot and some other dudes. They ride up. He pulls a sword out of the stone, but it's like half a sword, and he's like, no one's gonna respect me with half a sword. So then when he rides back into the little village, he pulls it out of the sheath, but not all the way, so they can't see that the end's missing, and he's like, look, I got it. I did it. He runs up to Guinevere, and she's all happy for him, and he's like, oh, also, Merlin might have been, like, lying a little bit, because, you know, it's half a sword, but you still love me, right, babe? Then it goes to Camelot, once the Charmings are there, kind of that timeline. Arthur calls David in and he's like, hey, look, I got half a sword. It's super sad, but you'll help me fix it, right? Then it goes to Emma and she's in her room and she's making dream catchers and she starts hearing some whispers. The Dark One's like, well, what could that be? So she follows the whispers to this wardrobe and there's a box with the dagger in it and she's like, I should take it. The Dark One's like, yeah, take it. And she tries to take it and there's a weird protection spell on it so she can't grab it. So she's like, I can't catch it. And the Dark One's like, yeah, you can. You're the Dark One. Be awesome. Quit being so weak. And he's just kind of berating her for a while. She finally gets fed up and she throws a fireball at him, but he's not really there, so it just goes past and it almost hits Hook and he's like, whoa, honey, it's me. Hook's being real sweet and he walks up and hugs her and she's like, but then she's looking and Rumple's just standing in the doorway staring at her all creepy-like. Then it cuts to Emma's all like huddled up and fetal and not talking. They're like, what happened? And Hook's like, I don't know, she's not speaking. David comes in, he's like, hey, I'm gonna help Arthur fix his sword. And Snow's like, where have you been? I wanted to tell you that Lancelot says we can't trust him. They start talking about that, and then Regina walks up and she's like, guys, can we keep the heavy topics away from the fetal, unresponsive woman? At that point, Regina seems to be the only one that cares about Emma's well-being. She's like, we need to take her someplace quiet to, like, rest, and Henry's like, I know the place. Hook's like, me and the kid will take Emma somewhere, and then they get up and walk out, so then it's just Regina, Charming, and Snow in the room. Regina's like, hey, she was in here, and the dagger's in here, so she's probably trying to find it, so I'm gonna go hide it somewhere else. Charming's like, let's just go give it to Arthur, and Snow's like, no, did you not freaking hear me? Lancelot said he's bad. Charming's like, Lancelot is kind of bad, and she's like, you're stupid. Snow mentions that he's hiding somewhere because he's not welcome in Camelot. They start bickering, and then they realize Regina's in the room, and it's kind of awkward. They're like, Regina, can you leave? This is getting weird. So she just poofs herself away. Then they start arguing more, and then Snow's like, hey, I get it. You just met a king, and you're starstruck. And I'm like, calling him out. She's like, Charming, seriously, you became a Knight of the Round Table. How does that even help Emma? You just want to feel important again. Charming's like, well, maybe the Round Table is where I should be. And then Snow's like, no, stupid. We're not telling Arthur anything. Stop. Then it cuts to 5 years earlier, and Arthur is around all these, like, papers, and he's reading a bunch, and he seems crazy. Guinevere's like, hey, there's a party, come dance with me. And he's like, give me a minute, I'm deciphering things. He's like, look, I found these symbols, I don't know what they mean. And she's like, hey, dude, there's a party. I'm your wife. You gonna spend any time with me? He's like, okay, I'm sorry. Give me 5 minutes, I'll be right out. Then it cuts to outside at the party, everyone's happy, but Guinevere is sitting by herself. Lancelot walks up, and he's like, I'm sure he'll be out soon. He's trying to comfort her because her husband's a piece of crap, so he's like, do you want to dance? Lancelot's playing, like, the best wingman ever. He's like, look, I know he's got a lot going on, but Arthur threw this party for you. And then this lady starts throwing all these flower petals, and everyone's doing the flowers. And then, like, Guinevere gets happy, but then she realizes, none of this was done by my husband. It was all by you. So it was a really sweet moment between Guinevere and Lancelot, and just then crazy Arthur comes rolling up, and he's like, I've deciphered things. He's like, the dagger is a day's ride from here. The dagger, or whatever it is they're looking for, is always about a day's ride away. He's like, tomorrow I'll have it, and I want Lancelot to watch out for you, Guinevere, because I trust him, and you're so precious to me. Then it cuts to, like, the 6 weeks ago Camelot. David just storms into Arthur, and he's like, I'm gonna help you restore the sword, because I'm super into helping people right now. Then David's like, yeah, it's a little more serious, though, because Lancelot's back. Dude. Then 5 years ago, you know, the night of the party, Guinevere is getting ready to leave, and she's got Merlin's gauntlet she stole, because she's like, it'll lead me to Arthur's weakness. Arthur never would have used it because he thinks the dagger is his strength, but I'm gonna go find the dagger, I'm gonna fix this whole thing, Arthur will not be as crazy anymore, and we'll all be happy. She's like, Lancelot, don't follow me. And he's like, I'm not just gonna, like, report you or follow you, I'm gonna come help you. So they end up, like, looking all night, they walk up, which again, where's their horses? I thought you guys were gonna take some horses. But they end up walking up to the Vault of the Dark One. There's symbols all around it, and she remembered from the stuff that Arthur deciphered. She remembers the way to, like, touch them to get it to open up. A bunch of that black oily stuff comes out, and then it kind of dissolves into a spiral staircase that goes all the way down. They go walking through these, like, cavey corridors underground. That swirling darkness that, like, threatened to get Regina before Emma stopped it, that shows up, encircles Lancelot, makes him drop his sword. Guinevere's like, I'm gonna poke it with fire, and apparently that works. Seriously, infinite darkness seems to have its limitations. Like last year we see it has to go through a mail slot and a door, and now it just doesn't like fire. But once it goes away and Lancelot's on the ground, she leans down and kisses him and is like, whoa, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. It'll never happen again. She's like, we gotta focus. We're here for Arthur, not your pretty, pretty lips. So then back during the missing 6 weeks, Arthur's like, Lancelot's alive, huh? He's like, I hope my wife doesn't find out about that. And just then she walks in and she's like, I already know. She's like, I want to capture Lancelot. I don't like him. And he's like, from what I heard, y'all both cheated together. And she's like, no, that's not the real story. And Arthur's like, yeah, she's right. If Lancelot's here, the dagger isn't safe. David's like, all right, well, I can help you right now because I brought the dagger with me. And he goes to open the box. There ain't no dagger in there. Then it cuts to Snow going into Granny's, and she's like, Lancelot, you can come out. He comes out, and she's like, look, I have the dagger. Let's go hide it. Then it cuts to Henry, Hook, and Emma, and they're walking into this, like, stable area. They're like, where is this? How did you find this stable? And he's like, that girl I'm talking to, it's owned by her family. They're like, you have a crush. And he's like, no, it's not like that. But then he hears someone coming, and is like, hide. And so Emma and Hook hide, and then the girl comes in, and she's like, hey, Henry, what's up? He's like, I came to see if you wanted to go riding. Hey-o. She's like, I hope you're ready to get your heart racing. That is not age-appropriate flirting, okay? So Henry and Violet exit, and then Hook's like, oh, they in love. Emma's like, I don't know if I like this. He lied to me, and I'm the Dark One and his mother. Then Hook's like, okay, now that we're alone, maybe you can tell me what's going on. She's like, I've been seeing the Dark One, but it's like taking the form of Rumpelstiltskin, and it's in my head all the time and creeping me out. Then Hook's like, okay, I got an idea. I've had demons in my head for a long time, and I lost them by just setting sail. So we're going to get your heart racing somehow. Henry went to go ride a horse. We're going to do the same. And I'm like, first of all, there are other ways to get your heart racing. Then it cuts to Snow and Lancelot, and they're heading off to go hide the dagger. And then she's like, do you still love Guinevere? And he's like, yeah, but it don't matter no more. I mean, she ain't with me. Then in the flashback, Guinevere and Lancelot are in the Dark One's vault, and they come upon this door. They open it. It's like a weird, jungly type, foresty looking area. There's this weird black branch that's kind of just around the dagger. She's like, I'm gonna go grab it. They try to grab it. They get thrown backwards. Rumpelstiltskin shows up, and he's like, hey, that's how you found the vault. And he points at the gauntlet she's wearing. She's like, give us that dagger. It's Arthur's birthright. And he's like, no. He's like, I can't give you that, but I'll trade you that gauntlet for something that will make it appear to be a complete sword. She's like, what do you mean? He's like, this little magic sand, one pinch of it will make anything appear to be fixed. You could just lie to Arthur, make him think the sword's complete, and he'll stop being crazy. He's like, you can get your husband back if that's what you really want. He knows she got the hots for Lancelot. He's like, you're split between desire and duty. What do you want to do? So she decides to make the trade, gets the magic dust, gives him the gauntlet. Then back in the missing 6 weeks, Snow and Lancelot get to the vault, they get in, they go through the door, and she's like, wait, I've been in this area before. Remember in that one weird vision she had where she, like, pictured teenage Emma ripping her heart out and crushing it? She's like, oh, maybe it was always about her becoming the Dark One. Lancelot's like, that little thing in the weird branch is where it can be safe, but it's got a protection spell on it, it could hurt you, and she's like, well, maybe if I'm holding it, it won't hurt me. And he's like, well, just let me do it just in case. She's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, don't you trust me? And when he says stuff like that, I'm like, maybe we can't trust him. Then Arthur shows up, and he's like, hey, give me the freaking dagger. And he's like holding up a sword. He's like, it's not, Excalibur, because that's broken, but this one's a real sword, and it can poke pretty hard. Snow's like, oh my god, you followed us. Where is my husband? Arthur's like, he's looking for you, but he's looking in the wrong place, because I totally sent him the wrong place, because I'm evil. And he's just holding the sword to Snow's throat, and he's like, just give me the freaking dagger now. Then back in the flashback, Arthur's in his, like, little rinky-dink tower, and he's looking out, and he sees that Guinevere and Lancelot are parting ways, but she's, like, holding his head really sweet-like. She walks in, and he's like, hey, Guinevere, where have you been? She's like, I went to go find the Vault of the Dark One and the dagger, and I found it. And so he just goes ballistic. He's like, give me the freaking dagger, give it to me now! He's just screaming at her, and she's like, oh, God, why did I marry this guy? He grabs her bag and starts rummaging through it and just throwing crap on the ground. He's like, where is it? When his back is turned, she has the little vial of the sand stuff, and she looks like she's going to put on the sword, and then she changes her mind and puts the cap back on. Then she turns around and tells him, oh, by the way, never mind, I actually just have this magic sand, and here's what it does. He's like, you lied to me? And she's like, I just wanted to get you back, and not the crazy version of you. She's like, just give up this freaking quest for the dagger, and you can have me back, you can have the kingdom back, things will be okay. Then he's like, hey, wait, you're with Lancelot, I saw you, you want to be with him. She's like, it's not even what you think, he was saying goodbye because he's leaving because you're crazy. He starts freaking out again, he's like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to fix things, and he grabs his sand, and then he's like, I'll keep you by my side, and then just, like, throws a pinch of it at her. He's like, how you feeling? And she's like, better, I think, and I'm apparently holding roses now. She's like, sorry I haven't been so supportive, I know how much the dagger means to you, I'm gonna help you get it. He's just, like, creepily happy and okay with her being brainwashed, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna be nice. I don't see why you can't live in the kingdom you deserve. And he goes out to the window, he just throws a bunch of dust out, and it builds this awesome freaking castle. Then back in the missing 6 weeks, Snow, Arthur, and Lancelot are still in the vault, and he's like, give me the freaking dagger, I'm gonna stab the crap out of Lancelot. Snow's like, no, don't hurt him, and then she just gives Arthur the dagger. When he has the dagger, he gets, crazy again. He's like, oh my gosh, I can complete the sword, I can get Merlin out, and I can stab him with it. He's super jazzed about, like, who he thinks he's gonna be and how he thinks he's gonna prove himself. So then he holds up the dagger and tries to summon Emma, and Snow's like, you idiot. It's not even freaking real. And then Charming shows up, and he's like, hey, I got a sword right at you, Arthur. Snow's like, I wondered when you were gonna get here. Charming apparently was, like, trailing behind him so he wouldn't be spotted. They were in cahoots the whole time. They'd made this plan to test both of them. Apparently, though they did fight in the beginning, they quickly realized that they needed to choose to do what's best for Emma. I'm starting to like them again. I mean, the last, 2 seasons, I didn't give a crap about Charming and Snow. Meanwhile, Hook and Emma are out walking with the horse, and he's like, the horse has to get to know you first. Go ahead, touch her. She tries to touch the horse freaks out, and then the Rumpelstiltskin in her head is like, of course the horse freaked out. You're the freaking Dark One. Emma tries to yell at the Dark One to go away, and Hook's like, dude, just get on the freaking horse. Then Hook's like, you have to trust me, put your faith in me, which is stupid. You should never put your faith in someone else, because someone else will always let you down. He's like, I'll never stop fighting for us. Get on the horse, let's go riding. She climbs on. The horse is cool with it now, but as they're getting ready to ride off, she still sees the Rumpelstiltskin dude just standing in the forest. Then Snow, Charming, Lancelot, and Arthur are all in Granny's diner. They have Excalibur. David's like, maybe he wanted to use it for bad, but we might still be able to use it for good. We'll talk about this more once we get back to Camelot. Lancelot's like, I put my faith in the wrong dude. The true leader is the Queen, so the Queen can help us sort all this out. Then they realize that Arthur's sitting over there all shackled up, and he's like smirking really creepy, and Snow's like, wait a minute. He's too quiet. Charming runs to the window and looks outside and sees like all of Camelot's army is just out front waiting for them. Guinevere walks in. Lancelot's all excited to see her, but she goes right to Arthur and like unchains him. Walks up to Lancelot and then takes his sword, and he's like, something's wrong. Lancelot figures out that Arthur must have used the sand on her, but she's like, take him to the dungeon. So poor Lancelot has to walk past Guinevere kissing Arthur, and it makes his heart hurt, and it makes me sad. Charming and Snow have their swords, and they're like, the moment you lock us up, our friends are gonna know something's wrong. They're like, we didn't plan on locking you up, we want you to help us. Then Arthur's like, Guinevere, do the thing, and she walks up with the sand and just blows it on them, and I'm like, dude, why did you guys stand there and let her do that? Then it cuts to Lancelot being thrown in the dungeon, and then you hear a female's voice being like, you must have gotten people mad, that's a crappy cell. Then it steps forward and it's Merida, and she's like, you know what, if you're an enemy to Arthur, you're probably a friend of mine. Then it cuts to Regina and Robin, and she's just pacing back and forth, and she's waiting for them to come back so she can find out the results of the test, like who could they trust, Arthur or Lancelot. Then the Charmings come in, and they're like, okay, we were totally wrong, Lancelot was bad, we have to give Arthur the dagger, that's our best chance to help Emma. Regina's like, what the heck? Are you sure? And they're like, yep, plans changed, sorry. I don't know if Regina believes them because they stared at her super creepy, like they just kept staring, something's up. Then it cuts to Hook and Emma riding on the horse. They get to the end of their ride. They get off, and Hook's like, look around, what do you see? And she's like, lots of flowers. And then a really stupid scene of him, like, picking a rose off the ground, and the bottom of it's already cut. Like, prop department, come on. And then Hook's like, well, what don't you see? And she looks around, and she's like, oh my gosh, the Dark One's gone. And then she's like, well, now that we're alone, and then leans in and kisses him, and then it pans out, and they're in this field surrounded by flowers that just grow directly out of the ground. Then, back in present time, like present time, Storybrooke, Emma's in her weird basement, she's holding the rose, and Rumpelstiltskin is, like, tied up against the wall. Rumpel's like, look, I remember what it's like to be the Dark One, you could just try and fight it and just let me go. And she's like, you're the only one that can pull this sword out of the stone. And he's like, I can't be that hero, what are you talking about? Then she's like, of course you can. And then she uses this weird metaphor of saying he's like a dull knife sitting in a drawer, and she knows how to sharpen him. Then it cuts to Emma walking down this creepy tunnel that if any of you have ever watched Slenderman, or like Marble Hornets, or played any of the games, it looks exactly like that, and it is terrifying. Her bug is parked at the end of the tunnel, and chained to the front of it is Merida, which is like, how long have they been in town? How long has she been out there? Has she peed on herself? Then Emma just reaches in, pulls her heart out, and I'm like, dude, if you've had her tied up like that, why didn't you take her heart, like, a while ago? Then while she's holding Merida's heart, she uses magic and unties her, and then she's like, go get the bow. Merida goes to the passenger seat and pulls out the bow and her arrows, and Emma's like, hey, there's this guy I know, you wouldn't like him very much because he's a coward, but I need you to help me. I need you to make him, dun dun dun, brave. And then credits. So I like this episode. I liked it in the sense that we got to see a lot more about Arthur, and I knew we couldn't trust him. I'm actually impressed because I was surprised about the whole thing about Charming and Snow not really fighting and working together. That blindsided me, and I like that. So we're getting more of a look at what happened in the missing 6 weeks, and it's exciting because now we can't trust Charming or Snow because they've had the little sand in their face. And Lancelot and Merida come back into the story a lot, so I'm excited to see where this goes. What did you guys think of it? If I forgot anything, if I left anything out, drop a comment. If you just want to talk about it, drop a comment. Don't forget to do the things. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Until next time.